For dreamers, life happens. Now, whether that's by incident or by accident, plans change. And it's my goal for you at the end of this conversation to stop feeling guilty, stop feeling overwhelmed, or even frustrated by your progress or the lack thereof this year. And so we're talking about getting back on track to achieve your goals. Well, welcome to the Dream Lifestyle Podcast. I'm so grateful to have you here today. If you haven't, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that way you can stay up to date with all of our conversations throughout the month. We always are talking about mindset, goals, or self-leadership. Also, that way you can lead well in your life to make an impact. So if that's interesting to you, if you're a dreamer, this is the place for you. Now, in today's conversation, we're talking about getting back on track to achieving your goals, because I know that there is a lot of you listening to me right now where you were very intentional with your goal setting at the beginning of the year. But now that we are creeping into August, we're in this latter half of the year, there's a level of progress that isn't there, and that's frustrating to you. There are a lot of things that you wish you had done, and now you feel like there's no time. And I just want to encourage you with this conversation and encourage you now. It's possible to get back on track. I want you to stop beating yourself up. And I want you to put yourself in a space so that way you can keep moving forward. And I'm just going to be sharing with you just 3 things that I believe will be practical in helping you get back on track to achieving your goals. Okay? Because for a lot of you, you're frustrated because you're not flexible. All right? You're frustrated because you're not flexible. And all this basically means is that you're overlooking one of your greatest superpowers, which is flexibility. And when you mentally, and this is more of a mindset as a dreamer, when you mentally understand that, okay, in order for me to really be successful, I need to also be flexible. I need to be firm in the sense of this is where I'm going, but I also need to be flexible because life's going to happen. When you adopt this mindset of I'm going to be flexible, you then give yourself the ability to be adaptable. Okay. You give yourself the ability to be adaptable, meaning no matter what's going on around you, because you have a mindset that is flexible, you will then be able to adapt to whatever circumstance you're facing. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean you won't get frustrated at times. That doesn't mean you won't feel guilt sometimes. But when you embrace this idea of being flexible, you then become adaptable. And when you are adaptable, you will become successful. Now, the first thing that you need to do in order to get back on track to achieving your goals is get control of your feelings. Now, I know that may sound very simple, but I'm telling you it's powerful, because for a lot of people, they are stuck in their feelings, which is hindering them from making progress. Now, I get it. You set the goal in the beginning of the year. You were really excited about it. You put it on your vision board. You told your friends about it to hold you accountable to achieving the goal and everything of the sort. But now it's the second half of the year and you feel like zero progress has been made, or you're simply not happy with the progress that you've made thus far. Let me tell you, if you decide to stay in those feelings of frustration, guilt, overwhelm, sadness, whatever it is, if you decide to stay there, you are only prolonging progress. You are only hurting yourself and compounding on the problem that exists. And so the first thing we need to do is get in control of our feelings. And so there's 3 things that there's basically a 3-step process, we'll call it, in order to get in control of our feelings. And that first thing is, number 1, you just need to acknowledge how you feel. Okay, you just need to acknowledge how you feel. If you feel disappointed, admit that to yourself. If you feel sadness, admit that to yourself. If you're frustrated, it's okay to simply admit how you feel to yourself, because the key is not quote unquote not feeling this way. The key is not to, just internalize these emotions and keep moving, because again, you're a human being. You have emotions. The goal here when it comes to getting in control of our feelings is acknowledging them, but not staying in them. The key to getting control of our feelings is being able to identify this is frustrating me, but I'm also not going to stay in that place of frustration. And the only way you do that, number 1, is by acknowledging how you feel. Now, once you actually work this process out of acknowledging how you feel, and you do this in, just your quiet time with yourself, or maybe when you're driving your car by yourself, or it could be even while you're taking a shower, whatever it is, but you just need to acknowledge how you feel. Then you need to put that emotion, whatever it is that you've acknowledged, you need to put that emotion through the productivity filter. Okay, put that emotion through the productivity filter, meaning this is where the feelings versus fact parts of your brain need to start having a confrontation. Meaning that while you may feel disappointed, you may feel guilty, you may feel anger, whatever it is, right? You need to take that emotion and then measure it up to, okay, is this productive? Is this a productive emotion? Am I actually going to get something productively done while feeling this emotion? Now, if you know that whatever emotion that you're experiencing is negative and it's not going to allow you to be productive, you're giving yourself power because then you'll be able to do something about it. But if you know that that emotion does not serve you, it does not serve your goal, it does not serve your purpose, it does not serve the big vision that you have for your life, then you know that there's an action step that you need to take. That before we even think about the next proposal we need to write up, or we think about the next meeting we need to set up, or the next project we need to work on, we need to first get our emotions in check. So once you run that emotion that you've acknowledged through the productivity filter, if you know that you can still do good work with that emotion, whatever it is that you've acknowledged, great. If you know that it's not, then our attention needs to be focused on fixing the emotion, changing how we feel, which will then lead to number 3 of just getting in control of your feelings. You need to be intentional with changing your mood. Okay? Be intentional with changing your mood. Now, this is where if you feel disappointed, then you need to do something and do a series of activities that encourage you. You need to, if you're feeling sadness, you need to do something that simply just puts a smile on your face. And again, I use the word intentional for a purpose, because you don't want to just be going and floating through your life while you're feeling disappointed. You don't want to just be floating through your life while you feel as though you're behind, right? You want to make sure that once you acknowledge how you feel, I feel guilty, I can't believe that, I'm further behind, I can't believe I'm not where I'm supposed to be, and all these different things, all these emotions that we experience during this point of the year. You then put those emotions through that productivity filter. But once you understand, okay, this is an emotion that I can work with, or this is an emotion I can't work with, at that point, then you need to make sure that you're intentional with changing your mood. Because the thing is, being in control of your feelings is a matter of a decision. You are not victim to your emotions. You can be in control of them, but it's going to take work. It's going to take intentionality. And in order for you to just sum up this point, in order for you to get in control of your feelings, you're going to need to, number 1, acknowledge how you feel. Number 2, put the emotion through a productivity filter. And then number 3, you're going to need to be intentional with changing your mood. And you can do that. You can do it. Whether that means you go watch a movie, whether that means you go out to eat at your favorite restaurant, whether that means you just watch a funny movie. Like I personally, I'm telling my personal business here. Personally, when I have felt sad or when I've felt frustrated or whatever it is, one of the things that really helps me is just watching something funny, just so I can laugh. It just simply takes my mind off. It allows me to recenter, it allows me to get back in a space of productivity. Now, that's just a simple example, but that's my practical way of getting in control of my feelings. You don't get in control of your feelings by accident. You get in control of your feelings on purpose. All right. And it's possible for you. So once you then have control of your feelings, the next thing that you need to do to get back on track is you need to just get real about what went wrong. Get real about what went wrong. Now, the reason why we need to put our feelings first is because we need to be able to take a hard look in the mirror at ourselves about, okay, what went wrong? What changed? What didn't I do? Or what happened that was out of my control? This entire part of the process is about just getting real about what changed. All right. Now, in order to do this, there's 4 things that we need to do. If we want to get real about what went wrong, number 1, I have to identify the problem. All right. And not the symptom. Let me be clear, not the symptom of the problem. We want to get to the source of the problem. Maybe there was a miscalculation on your part. Maybe there was something that happened that was simply out of your control. Maybe there was just a part of the plan that you forgot about. Whatever it is, you need to identify the problem. Get to the root cause of what went wrong. Be clear. Don't find the symptom. It's easy to find the symptoms. I want you to get to the root. Maybe there was a system that you didn't put in place. Maybe there was an accountability system you didn't put in place. Maybe there was a piece of the puzzle or a factor of the puzzle that you were missing. Whatever it is, you want to identify the problem. Now, once you identify the problem, whatever it is, when you think about getting real about what went wrong, number 2, you need to identify your should haves. Identify your should haves, meaning a lot of us, especially when we're in conversations with friends and our other collaborators and other dreamers that we know, a lot of times when we're talking about our progress and all these different things, we're always talking about, oh, well, I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have made that call. I should have, tried to put in that bid. I should have. And we have these conversations, but we miss the opportunity of actually reflecting on, no, we actually know what we should have done. We should have basically taken that more serious. And so when we identify the root cause of what went wrong, we then need to take a hard look in the mirror at ourselves and say, okay, here's what I should have done. And I'm not saying this to myself as a conversation point. I'm talking about what I should have done so that way I can hold myself accountable in the future. I'm talking about what changes I need to make so that way I'm never in this position again. I'm talking about what needs to happen so that way I am always making progress, even while circumstances are going on around me. And so identify should haves. Now, what is so powerful about identifying your should haves is that then you give yourself the ability, you give yourself the power, you give yourself the permission to create a principle. Now, principles are one of those things that you can call them quick taglines. You can call them just quick thought points, whatever it is, however you want to categorize them. But I firmly believe that principles help with decision making. And when you identify should haves and you start really getting clear on the root causes of what went wrong, then the principles that you're able to create become way more effective. Because you're able to basically give yourself clues as to what you should do in the future. Meaning, if you know that you went wrong in the area of your physical health, you know that, okay, what went wrong? The root cause of the issue was that I did not get the gym membership, right? Let's just say, use the example of, you want to lose weight and it's the end of the year, you feel behind and everything like that. And you identify the root cause was I got too busy. I did not manage my time well because I didn't even make the time to go get the gym membership, right? Didn't have enough time. Don't have a gym membership. Cool. In this example, the root cause of the problem was, well, I didn't make the time. So it wasn't a matter of my desire to work out. It was the fact that I did not make the time, right? So that's the root cause is time management. Now, a should have in this example would be I should have went and got a trainer. I should have went and joined the gym. I should have bought the nutrition plan. I should have, right? That's the example of that. Now, the principle that can be created is whenever, again, conditions seem to match this. We're giving ourselves clues that we can succeed in the future. Whenever I'm setting a goal, the first thing that I need to look at is time. That's a very simple principle. And again, it's something personal. Like these don't need to be necessarily universal principles that you can put in a book and tell everybody. These are things like principles are just things that like little sayings, little thoughts that you hold dear to you. So the principle that you can create is basically saying, hey, whenever I have a goal, the first thing I need to do is look at time management. Simple as that. There's a principle. But that's a principle that regardless of whatever area of your life, when you start seeing these same signs popping up, whether it's something new, whether you start, again, once you get clear on the source and you start seeing the similarities in situations, you can identify and create a principle. Okay. Then once you go through this process, right? We talked about identifying the problem. We talked about identify your should haves. Then we talked about creating a principle. Then I need you to make courageous adjustments. Make courageous adjustments. And all this basically means is basically working that adaptability power that we talked about earlier. Basically saying, you know what? I should have been, quote unquote, 15 steps ahead. But you know what? I'm going to make the courageous adjustment to say I'm going to get myself to 5. Now, the difficulty of making courageous adjustments is relative to the problem at hand. If you're dealing with a situation that was totally out of your control, it's left you totally drained, you're totally disappointed, you're totally sad, whatever the situation, you may have lost a family member. You may have had the rug pulled under you in your business. You might have had just something go through that usually does, right? The unpredictability, the unexpected things in life has happened. In order for you to make courageous adjustments, it is going to be difficult, but it is worth it. But there also are, depending on your goals that you're going for, there are simple adjustments that can be made. But the key in all of these adjustments is that they're courageous. They are courageous, meaning, you know what? I wanted to be there, but you know what? I'm going to shift my perspective. I'm going to shift, quote unquote, my current expectation. I'm still going to expect to achieve this goal, but I'm going to shift my expectation because of these changes. This is where we're working that, again, that flexibility. We're working that adaptability muscle to where, you know what? This is the adjustment I'm going to make as a result of this thing that went wrong. As a result of this problem, the source of the problem that I've identified, here's what I'm going to do as an adjustment. And I'm going to be confident in it. I'm going to be comfortable with it simply because I am adaptable as a dreamer. Okay. So that's the point number 2. We're going to get real about what went wrong. And then we're going to start with identifying the problem, identifying the should haves. We're going to create a principle, and then we're going to make courageous adjustments. So once we've gotten control of our feelings and we've gotten real about what went wrong in order to get back on track, number 3, we need to get clear on our measurement of success. All right, get clear on our measurement of success. Because for some of us, we simply just did not measure our progress well. For some of us, our metric for success is the source of our frustration. Because while you may have thought at the beginning of the year, oh, I'm going to be able to take 20 steps forward in my life. Oh, I'm definitely buying a home this year. Oh, I'm definitely saving this amount of money. Oh, I'm definitely getting this promotion. Whatever it is, we might have misjudged the process. We might have misjudged the measurement by which we were gauging our success. All right. And that's okay. It's natural. You're human. You don't have to be perfect. The key here, again, is being flexible and being adaptable. So because we've now gotten control of our emotions to where, okay, I'm in a space of productivity mentally, then I'm going to get real about what went wrong. I'm able to look myself in the mirror and talk about, okay, this is what I should have done. I now have a principle that I'm equipped with that's going to help me in the future. Now I'm just going to readjust my measurement of how I'm gauging success throughout the rest of this year. Meaning that, all right, we know that it's August. It's basically August. So now what does success look like between August and the end of December? What does that look like now based on the current facts that you have? All right. And again, this takes courage. You don't need to think about, oh, well, I was expecting this at the beginning of this year, and I was hoping for this. No, the only thing you need to do when you're in the process of getting back on track with your goal is redefining how you want to measure success between now and the end of 2024. Because that is what will give you the power, is what will give you the rest, is what's going to give you the confidence to do whatever's necessary so you can finish this year strong. So, number 3, you need to get clear on your measurement of success. And an easy way to do this, easy way, super simple, you find a quick win. You simply find some sort of way to get a quick achievement, something that you're able to do, something that you're able to accomplish, so that when you walk away just being able to say, you know what, I did it, and this is all a part of the plan. When I've readjusted my plan courageously and I've taken one step forward with this new plan, now I'm back on track to becoming better than I was yesterday. Because ultimately, in this thing called life, as a dreamer, it's more important that you are better today than you were yesterday than you reach some sort of specific position. It's more important that you grow as a human being, that you improve your mindset, you shift your heart posture, you are improving overall, as opposed to saying, I have a certain amount of money in my bank account. At the end of the day, you want to improve as a person before you reach a position. And that is what really matters. That's how you should really measure success, particularly if you're in a space where you're thinking about, oh, well, I didn't reach that milestone, or I should be further ahead at this point of the year. Whatever the case is, you need to value your personal growth more than reaching a personal milestone. Because when you become the person, you'll be able to do and have all the things. If you chase all the things and you're more so focused about metrics and everything like that, and I'm not saying they're not important, but when you value them more than your personal growth, you're always going to be in the space of frustration because you can always find peace in your growth. Always. If you know without a shadow of a doubt, when you lay your head down at night, that I'm better today than I was yesterday, you will live your life at a much higher level because you understand personal growth is important because you're clear on the measurement of success. So to sum up everything that we talked about in this conversation, in order for you to get back on track to achieving your goals, number one, we're going to get control of our feelings. And we're going to do that by acknowledging how we feel. We're going to put the emotion through a productivity filter, and we're going to be intentional with changing our mood. After we do that, we have control of our emotions and our feelings, where our mind is in the right spot. Number two, we're going to get real about what went wrong. And we do that by identifying the problem, identifying the should have, creating a principle, and then making courageous adjustments. And then number three, we're going to get clear on our measurement of success. And we're going to find a quick win, and we're going to value our personal growth over a personal milestone. So I hope that this conversation was helpful to you, and I'm going to ask you for only two favors. Number one, I'm going to ask you to share this with someone. Share this conversation with someone that you know and love, someone that you know may be in a space of disappointment, someone who you know may be stuck in frustration or guilt or whatever the case is because they feel like they should be further ahead at this point of the year. I want you to share this with someone so they too have a resource that will help them get back on track. And the second thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to download the free growth guide that is in the description link below. That guide is basically going to get you started on your growth journey, as well as help you discover 5 growth traps that can keep you from achieving your biggest goals. So if you do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Now, always remember, your dream is possible when you lead well.